Yo! Hello and welcome to something a little bit different today. We've got a Wargame Red Dragon 3v3 played between Kick the Noob, NfNaf, and LordLo going up against Bantank Fago, Vicalarik, and Kobra. In terms of what divisions they're playing, I had to write this down because it doesn't show you in game. Kick the Noob is playing as Israel, I think. Because these are all Israeli things. I believe it is Israel. And because they've also got some like BTRs and stuff, you see. Whereas NfNaf is playing as South Africa, which is the second newest thing to be added. So South Africa's more of a wheeled thing. Israel's basically just like it does everything really well. It's a DLC nation, and they just sort of made it overpowered. It was one of those kind of end-of-life DLC nations where they're just like, yeah, there you go. And then they just gave it loads of overpowered stuff. With South Africa, they ended up coming back to Wargame Red Dragon years later and adding South Africa. Pretty sure it was after Wano came out, or just before Wano came out. And South Africa is actually a lot more balanced, so it's got a lot of like fast wheeled stuff basically. So it doesn't really want to be on a map like this one. It wants to be fast and wheeled. And LordLo is playing as West Germany, I believe. And so basically you can play West Germany with France, but he's chosen to just play it as West Germany. So the Lars are actually Israeli things. So, yeah, looking at the blue deployment, essentially we've got Israel on the left. All right. Uh, and he's basically in this game, you can't spawn anything in this zone unless you have a CV in it. And if you move the CV, you can't spawn anything in the zone. And if the enemy snipes the CV, you can't spawn anything in the zone. So that's one way to win in this game, is just try and snipe the enemy CVs, and then they can't spawn anything. And also, if you take this, then you can spawn things. So that's why he's opened a CV in here, and then the other CV will go and cap Delta. Then he's got some man pads, some helo recon, and just some like recon tanks and stuff like that. This has probably got a spike ATGM in it. And he's got a fob. They've got a fob each. And he started by using his teammate's fob. And he's firing from his teammate's fob. So, and his teammate's playing as Germany. That doesn't get any better, to be honest. We will give the political commentaries a miss about refueling vehicles accidentally switching on their transponders over Jordan. I suppose I've said it now. Anyway, then he's opened 3 LAR 160s, which he intends to use to cluster the spawn road, which is sort of what Wargame Red Dragon's all about. Especially with these maps, like these bridges, ample opportunity to cluster some spawn roads there. I don't understand why it keeps jittering as I like. This game is old as shit, man. It shouldn't be lagging. Maybe that's just how it works. I'll try to turn off VSync. Oh, that's so much better. So, okay, I think it probably thought I was running at 60 FPS or something, even though I'm not. Anyway. So, yeah, we've got 3 spawn clusters. Then for because you can't drag box any of this, it's kind of hard to tell it apart. Basically, you've got a West German blob consisting of Roland 3, Leopard 2A4, and some Marder 1s and some Foxes. We can't actually tell what's inside the Foxes because the game won't tell us. And this is the superior game, though, by the way, guys. So you would assume that the South African player would want to go in the big open space so he can be a wheelie boy, and the German player would want to go in this space because it's going to be more of a grind fest for his tanks and so on. Yeah, I mean, I wish. And then the South African player, basically, he's got a bunch of wheelie boys, right? We don't know what's inside them because the game won't tell us. Superior game, by the way. This is basically an AMX 10RC. It's called a Roycat. And you get quite a few of those. So as you can see, it's basically an AMX 10RC. And it's got a really good accuracy and a really good stabilizer. So it looks like he's going to open wheeled stuff. That's a French one, isn't it? That's the French get that in Wano. Can't remember what it's called. Yeah. Or what? Is it a fox with a gun on it? That might be what it is, actually. It might not be an AML. It might actually just be a fox with a gun on it. Wait, no, I think it is just an AML. And then a cactus made up AA wheeled. So basically, Wheelie Boy is gonna wheel somewhere, and then they've got the slow moving gepards and Rolands and leopards. So interesting combination. I think late game the South African player is gonna suffer a lot, to tell you the truth. In general, the South African player probably not gonna have a great time because there's nowhere to go really. If he's here, he can go all the way over here. But then if he ends up here, then he's basically an idiot. So we'll see what happens. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we've got Kobra playing as the Baltic Front, which is a Polish-Finnish alliance. And he's gone on the water side. Interesting. And yeah, so he's going to unload his CV, presumably. So you can really snipe the CVs in this game and mess up enemy reinforcements and stuff because there's really not many places to hide them. So if you've got enough rocket arty, like he's only going to be here or here or here or here or in these trees, right? He might be here. So there are a lot of places. It's probably, usually it's more worth just hitting guys on the front line. But yeah, if you can kill the CVs, that's one way to end these kind of horror show 60-minute games. And yeah, so Kobra is opening with some wheeled SOCOLs. No, SOCOLs are the helicopters, my apologies. So he's got a few SOCOLs. We don't know what's in them. And then a BMP-2s, T-72S, we spoke about in the deck review. And then the Ito 90, which is a wheeled sort of Roland equivalent, basically. Except it's got a lot of missiles on it. It's got 8, apparently. It doesn't actually tell you like the salvo length in this game. But it does tell you the dispersion on artillery. And all the pieces tend to have different dispersions. Or at least there's more variation than there is in Wano. Where the dispersion, I'm pretty sure, is literally just based off the range. Then we've got Vicalarik. And this is the deck we covered, right? So double fob. You have to place them at the start. And then he's actually opened Jurgen. Presumably he's going to hit the spawn road. That's just how this map works, because there aren't that many roads. All these guys, if they want to get here, they have to use this road. Or they're not going to get there very fast, right? Because they'd have to use this one and come all the way around. You'll note that this road ends here. There's not a second one there. There's just one road. So the maps kind of funnel you. Meanwhile, these guys, if they want to get here, they do actually have a choice of 2 roads. But this is the main one, right? This is the main one, but you can also use this one. So, Vicalarik, he's got the CV. That's presumably going to Foxtrot or India, because this is presumably the one for the back. He's got his 2 fobs. He's got his Jurgen, and then basically, would they be faster if they were just in a row on the road in a line? I don't know, but you can't give orders to things before the game starts in Wargame Red Dragon, because it's the superior game. I had somebody tell me that Wano isn't hardcore because you can give orders before the deployment ends. I actually had somebody say that. And they were just referencing that Wargame Red Dragon is more hardcore than Wano because you can't give deployment orders before the game starts. This was somebody I respect as well, so really makes you think. Probably just trolling me. So we've got an Exceptional Optics Recon and a Wilk. Then, a bit more oh no, that's from Kobra. 3 AA Promets. and then another short range AA and 2 FL8. So like 2, 3, plus 6, 9, quick maths, 9 AA to protect the one tank, but no long range AA. They're all shorad. So 3 man pads, 3 promets. Promets just have the guns on them. And then, you know, another promet like with some igglers on it. Sort of more like minstrels. And then these, which are gun ones. So no Newas or anything. It's kind of weird, to tell you the truth. Then we've got... okay, so he's actually got some more units here. So 3 of the flamethrower guys we spoke about. So we'll see how useful those are on this map. I just don't really know if that was such a great idea. I think just Moto Strelcy spam, if you want those upgraded BMP2s, would have probably been better. A bit more recon. Then we've got Ban Tank Fago, who's sadly not playing North Korea, which is what that unit is. It's a ATGM Ban Tank Unspeakable 1. That's a Korean unit, North Korean unit. And he's playing the Czech Yugo coalition, which I believe is called the Entente. Yugo in this game pretty busted. So he's opening with a lot more helicopters. So some big boy rockets there. 2 big boy rockets and then 2 transports, but we don't know what's in them because the game won't tell us because it's the superior game. And we can't also not view the orders. We don't actually know where they're going either. And then I would assume this is coming over here somewhere. So it seems that Vicalarik is going more for the middle. So he'll be like the most grindiest player. Although these two tend to never get anywhere because of this big long bridge. They'll be fighting mainly over here with helicopters and stuff. And boats, you would hope. And then we've got, yeah, just a bunch of T-55s. Strop 2, which is the Dana thing we spoke about in the deck review. So it's a Dana with AA on it. 3, oh no, these are actually from Vicalarik. 3 BMP2s, the upgraded BMP2s. So yeah, just sort of standard Yugo magic. What? The Yugo player doesn't... Okay, most of the Yugo's players' points seem to be in the helicopters. And the Yugo player has also brought the fob. So that's it for the deployments, and now we'll cover the game. Right, so I was asked to comment on the deck. I'm not really a super good Wargame Red Dragon player. I have 450 hours, and the last time I launched it was it was before Italy came out, so it's been over a year, probably about 2 years. So, you know, we'll do our best, but just take any of my critiques with a pinch of salt, because I'm just not very good at this game. The first thing to point out is the division is non-Soviet Warsaw Pact. So it's a coalition of Poland, East Germany, and the Czechs, Czechoslovakia. So in Wargame Red Dragon, you have nations instead of divisions, but the nations aren't that like so if you get the 310 Polish divisions and put them together, there's more units in that than you would find in Poland in Wargame Red Dragon. So for example, Poland has no mortars at all, from what I remember, and so that's why you use the coalitions, because some nations are very, very, very lacking. So if you look at like Norway, it's just not got any helicopters. So you would have to play that in a Scandinavian division. That would be on NATO, obviously. So with the map being what it is, and the game settings being what they are, it's an hour-long game on a map with a big river in the middle. Bringing 2 FOBs and 4 artillery pieces makes a lot of sense, really. Because, you know, with the river, it's probably going to go the full hour. And so you might as well get the arty out. So the FOBs make sense. And then just 1 supply to carry to and from the FOBs. For the frontline stuff. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, typically you'd want... So I'm looking at CV numbers. 4. So that's it, actually. Interesting. Because yeah, in Wargame Red Dragon, there are no CV tanks in the tank tab. All the CVs come in the logistics tab. So look, here's your CV tank. and it's in the logistics tab. And you'll see that there are a lot of units, but a lot of them are just the same, but different flags. Yeah. So 4 CVs is probably sensible. You probably don't need more than that, given the map. Map's got like 3 active zones on it. 2 active zones, and then, there are back zones and so on, which generally nothing happens. I suppose there's the water one as well, so yeah, 3 active zones. Yeah, so 2 fobs and 4 artillery pieces makes a lot of sense. Typically, like a helo supply would be useful to ferry things to and from the fob. Do you even get helo supply in this game? Yes, you do. But then you wouldn't have the trucks, and you can't take the helos too close to the front line because they'll get blown up. So I guess if you have to choose between the trucks and the helos, probably makes sense to choose the trucks. And then in terms of the CVs, so this is, there's a lot of CVs here. So, which one's best? I honestly couldn't tell you. This has 4 availability. This has 7. So, what's the advantage of this one? It's got a bit of armor and more HP. Do you not want 7 CVs? That's a lot more. Would this survive artillery anyway? I think it would, actually. I think this would, because if you get hit by a cluster MLRS, I think this is just gone. You'll notice that his arm is actually clipping through the car there. Yeah, so maybe this makes more sense. So what you want, if you want to survive artillery, is top armor. You'll note that the T-72s in this game only have 2 top armor, whereas in Warno they used to have 2, but then they got upgraded to 3 because they needed to be the best. I can't wait till they add Yugoslavia to Warno. It's going to be such a shit show, honestly. Anyway, because it's broken in Red Dragon, and I know why it's broken in Red Dragon, and the same guy's gonna do it again, I can tell you that much. So, yeah, I mean, what CV is best? This is literally just the same as that. Except, what? Yeah, one's Polish. So, yeah, if you like Poland, you can bring the Polish one. They're both for availability. The cars are the same, right? What's the availability on this? 3. Yeah, I think it makes sense to have an armored. So, this is also 1 top armor, but it's tracked. And it's got a gun, but you don't really want them to be shooting. So you might as well get the wheeled armored one, I suppose. And there's no point having a gun on it. How is that going to help you on this map? Yeah, what can I say? CV choices being what they are, why not? Because, yeah, it would be nice to have 2 top armor so you can survive more artillery, but then you're slower and you've got fewer of them. So maybe it makes sense what he's brought. Or you could go for just maximum death and just bring these and get them killed all the time. But it's probably better if you've got something that can survive a bit of cluster arty, because that's what's going to be coming for you. Infantry, so this is where it gets a bit weird. So when I played this game back in the day, the idea was, so you might think, wow, there's so many infantry units. It's the same one, it's just the transport is different. So one line is 1 infantry unit, and some of them are just the same. So Unspeakable 1 Czech edition is exactly the same as Unspeakable 1 Polish edition, and there's a lot of that going around in Wargame Red Dragon. There's a lot of it going around in Warno. So typically what you would do is, when I used to play, was you get Fallschirmjäger 90 with the Strela 3s and everything, and they'd absolutely shred people. Special forces in this game are actually good. But with the map being what it is, just a nice big open field with a river, surely you'd want to spam BMP2s. And that's kind of what he's doing here. So he's got, so these are 5-man RPG teams, but the RPGs can hit infantry, because you see it's got HE power. So that's anti-infantry and anti-vehicle RPGs. They carry both types of rockets, I guess. But yeah, anti-infantry RPGs don't exist in Warno, apart from like the M67 recoilless rifle, which isn't really, you know. So I think that's something Warno should do. But generally, it would be about trying to spam IFVs, I would think, on this map, because you need range really. You don't really need close range infantry. So I'm not sure why he's gone for 26 sappers with napalm and 26 5-man teams, although they've got the BMP2 transport, the upgraded BMP2 transport with the Conquerors M. But sadly, I can't pin this specifically. It is funny how you see the Warno guys like Razman talking about how... Sorry, the Wargame guys like Razman talking about how the Wargame Red Dragon thing is better, and then I can't even pin that. So, anyway, Space Quit the same. But yeah, I'd be more inclined to just be spamming Mortschützen. But I guess the idea is he just wants the BMP2s, and this is the cheapest thing that comes with BMP2s. Because I'm looking at it, and... Well, I suppose these guys are 10 as well. And they're a 10... Yeah, Paichota Zedmec makes a return. But then this is a better BMP2 because it's got the Conquerors M. As opposed to the regular Conquerors, which we can't compare properly. But yeah, you can see that also the autocannon shoots further. Even though it's the same gun. So yeah, I guess he's just bringing these so he can get the best IFV. Because look, the Polish one is not as good, because it's not the upgrade. And the East German one is also not as good, because it's not the upgrade. Vicalarik are pretty funny for like close range stuff. But yeah, if you just... I guess it's just a case of wants to spam BMP2s, and this is like the highest availability kind of thing going on. So 26 BMP2s with infantry that might be useful for something, but you would assume that the regular Czech soldiers would also get that. Yeah, exactly. So why not the Moto Strelcy? Why? Because look, you even get more of them at Hardened. You get 15. And they're the same price, and they come with the upgraded BMP2, and they're twice the HP. Like, what do you actually need these guys for? They've got 5 HP. And they're okay against infantry, I guess, but isn't that what these lot are for? So, yeah, I'd be bringing Moto Strelcy. Then, you can always do the thing where you bring, like, helicopters with guns on them. So you can bring, you know, something like these guys, the Nevsky Beretti, who are also in Warno. They're in the Polish Donkey Kong division. And you can spam out the helicopters with the rockets. I'm pretty sure some of these guys come in like Mi-24Ds and stuff. But yeah, like I said, like I'm just not that good at this game. But this certainly seems very strange to me. If you wanted to be... So yeah, to reiterate, if you wanted to be spamming... and look, you can get militia for 5 points. If you wanted to be spamming BMP2s, I'd be bringing line infantry with the BMP2s, because you get more of them. And they've got more HP, so they're going to live longer. And the idea is the BMP2, right? And then do you really need 26 flamethrowers? Wouldn't you rather have some infantry Conquerors on this map? Wouldn't that be useful? Like a Conquerors M. And you could even bring it in the rocket healer if you want. Does the availability change? No. So you could even bring it in the rocket helo, and then you'd have some rocket helos. Like, do you really need 26 of these? Maybe you do. I don't know. It seems weird to me. Then we've got the man pad. So the Grom is actually very good, given that it came out in 1992 apparently. And yeah, I mean that's like a minstrel in. Although it's only got 4 HE, and I believe planes all have 10 HP in Warno, unlike in Wargame, unlike in Warno where some of them have less. But the alternative would be the Strela, and he's brought in the Promet, which is it's got a ZU-23 on it. Do not be put off by this thing that I can't pin. The minigun icon, as you can see, it's just the ZU-23 from Warno. Yeah, 7 man pads. Surely, in this kind of stalemate game, what would be better would be the ATGMs. Like the Conkers, you know? Isn't that crazy that the Mega Unspeakable in this game has 16 AP, whereas in Wano it has 17, because it got upgraded by 1, just so it could be a little bit better, just so it could kill a lot more things. Isn't that crazy? Whereas the Conkers remains at 20, and the Conkers M remains at 23. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, this is starting to upset me a bit now. Let's go to the next tab. So this is like an upgraded Dana, and it is very good. I remember using these. Basically, in these longer games, people just reach for the sort of highest shelf items. So if you look at, you know, artillery howitzer, so you've got the Dana is actually in the game, but it's not as good as the Ondava. So you might as well bring the Ondava if you're going to be playing a 60-minute game across a river. And then this is the Jurgen, which is a lot better in it's actually a lot better in Wargame Red Dragon than it is in Wano. Also comes at 2 per card. Wait, what? That says 4-3, and this says 2. Oh, because it's still got the Dana selected. There we go, 2. Then the Strop 2 is a Dana chassis, but it's got a Spag on it. And this is basically, it's a prototype, so it's made up basically, so that's why it's not in Wano. I think it should be, to be honest. I mean, Wano is made up. World War III didn't happen, and they definitely didn't put you in charge. I mean, it's just such an absurd proposition, right? The whole premise of the game is that you're in charge of NATO, or you're in charge of the Warsaw Pact. What could be less realistic than that? And then they say, well, you can't have the Strop 2. They only made 1 of them, or whatever. What? They made 0 of you in charge of NATO, mate. Anyway. Yeah, it's a wheeled thing. Sadly, it has to be stacked to use the gun, but it's got perfect stabilizers on the igloos, so it can move and shoot the igloos, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty fast. And then you've got the Sopel, which is sort of the same thing, but tracked. So it's got a ZU on it. Don't be see, look, twin autocannon, but it's got the minigun icon. It is just the ZU-23 from Wano, but it's also got the Groms on it, so that's pretty good. Then you've got the 4 Fingers of Death. It's kind of weird that these aren't in Wano. I guess it's probably out of time frame. Yeah, it must be 1994 prototype. So yeah, it's very good long range, high accuracy, high HE, radar guided missile. So it's like a super cub, you could see it as. It's more like a book, like a Wano book. Tanks, so in this game the T-72s aren't completely massively overbuffed, but you do still get the Wilk, which is good in this. But yeah, I mean, he could have brought some. So, like, he's brought the Wilk at trained, whereas there are better heavy tanks that he could bring. So the Moderna is better, right? It's got more armor. It's got more pen on the gun. It does actually fire slower and has less accuracy. It's also got an autocannon on it. But you only get 3 of them at trained. The T-72S has the Severe, which in this game doesn't have 2,800 meters range. But in Wano it does. I think is that right? I know the T-72S in Wano has 2,800 meters range. It might not be called the Severe, because there's several T-72Ss here. There's the Polish one, and they're just the same. Yeah. So I mean, and then oh yeah, so here's the German one, right? So he could have got this, which actually does have the same availability as the Wilk. So the gun is worse, but it's got more range because of the ATGMs. I mean, it's up to you, right? I don't play this game, so I mean, there's a limit to how much help I can be here, really. And then between these two, okay. So the Wilk is like the best gun, basically. So he's gone for the. Oh, wait, we forgot about the Twardy. Um, but now this thing's so stupid. So the Twardy has a better gun. It's got more pen and it's got more armor. But yeah, you get 6 of these, and you get 3 of these. So if you're playing an hour-long game, maybe it makes sense to bring the one with more availability. Then he has brought a bunch of T-72s with the Severe, so this is probably the cheapest T-72 that brings the ATGM. I assume. It's looking like it, isn't it? So that would be why he's brought this one for the ATGM on the tank. So I guess that's why this one doesn't have the ATGM. It does have a light coming out of its muzzle though. It's kind of weird. So yeah, 16 of those, and then just a bunch of cheap, cost-effective tanks. So yeah, that's fair enough, really. What I have noted is that there's no smoke mortars, which is really weird. Basically, the maps in Wargame Red Dragon are even worse than the maps in Warner when it comes to just flat field 2 trees. So you have to make your own cover using smoke mortars. Also, the RM70 shoots smoke, but I'm pretty sure the Jurgen doesn't. But look, this actually has the smoke stat here. So it does actually shoot smoke. But yeah, not having any smoke mortars is really weird. So, like, you know, you would get the Pram or the Chunder. Chunder means throw up in English slang, so that's pretty funny. So yeah, why no? Like, do you need the Sopal if you've got the Strop and you've got the Promet? Do you need the Stropal and you've got the Never? So do you really need the Sopal? Wouldn't you rather have some smoke mortars so you can actually, and then you could get 7 of them, right? And I feel like that would be way more useful because it's a big flat map and it's just not particularly fun to fight on. So yeah, how are you going to get your tanks into range? That's the question. So recon. So here you go, exceptional optics vehicle, like in Wano, except these come at 4 availability, whereas they come at 6 in Wano. And your other options are just, you know, the same thing, but without the ATGM for the same price. And then, or the same thing, but without this ATGM for the same price, but Polish, right? They're literally the same. Except that, okay, so you gotta bring the Czech one, I guess. It only has good optics. Then the Salamandra, which is really good, actually. It's a shame we don't see it in Wano, but I guess if it's from 1995, that might make a lot of sense. Kokon M's, so max range rockets, and then the rocket pods as well. And you get 7 of them, so you get a lot of recon helo there, and it's actually also just a gunship, so why wouldn't you? And then very good optics wheeled. No recon infantry, which is kind of weird. Usually you'd get some recon infantry, but I guess with the map being what it is, where would you even put it? This can also be a good opportunity to bring some Mi-24Ds. Then we've got the vehicle tab, which you don't get in Wano, and that's just got all sorts of crap in it. So this is just like an ATGM carrier, as is this. But you'll note that the stealth is poor, unlike in Wano, where these ATGM carriers get superior stealth. The stealth is poor, so if you want, you know, infantry ATGMs are sort of the way to go. So that's why I'm surprised at this, really. I'd be getting an infantry ATGM in there. I'm not very good at this game. Then we've got 26 FLA SFL 57-2, which is the one off KDA, if you're wondering. It's actually pretty good in this game. It's got a lot of armor. It's really good against infantry. Do you need 26 of them? Probably not. Probably not. It's a 2-point slot as well. That's 3. Interesting. So yeah, 26 of those. Wouldn't it be better to get the ATGMs maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm looking like there aren't any other 2-point slots apart from in the recon tab. So you could get some infantry recon instead of that. You could get, 7 Mi-24Ds instead of that, with some Spezialaufklärer, which are in 7th Panzer in Warno. So, yeah, I don't really see the weird. Anyway, helos. So this is a helicopter with AA missiles on it, and the Kokon Ms, and the gun. Gun's not got a turret though, as you can see. It just sort of sticks out the side. And you get 4 in a card, unlike in Wardo, where that would be 1 per card. So yeah, pretty good. And then 13 rocket gunships. I'm not sure how useful they are. I know the so-calls in this are quite good. But yeah, interesting. Like, this can be funny because it's got more range, you see. 2,450 meter range rockets. The Fletcher isn't the best thing ever, really. Obviously, in Warno, it's got, the Falango, which is like the worst than the Fletcher, has higher AP. And the Malyutka in Warno has higher AP than it does here. Oh dear, oh dear. It really does make you think, doesn't it? And when you know what's happening behind the scenes, oh dear. What can I say? The rot goes deep. So, yeah, I don't know about this really. I guess you would buy all 13 at once and just sort of hope for the best. Air tab, so a bomber, 2 per card with big bombs, and then a cluster bomber, 3 per card with big bombs. Do you get ATGM things? So no fighter. This is the good one. This is the one everybody brings in 1v1s and stuff, because these are really good. So this tends to be the one people bring. So, I mean, cluster, you got to get quite close to use it. Although that does say it's the same range, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I can't pass a judgment because I don't play the damn game. So, what can I say? Kind of hard to use these in big team games. They do tend to just die. Especially with the prevalence of like long range AA, you'll note that the AA range is very, 4,550, and it's got 65% accuracy, and that's the PACT one. And then Navy. So the way Navy works is if you're a red div, you get the red Navy tab, and it's the same for all red divs, and it's got like literal, just like random crap in it from all over. It makes literally no sense. So it's not a specifically divisional Navy tab. Like it will have stuff from all over the world on PACT in this Navy tab, I think. Well, in terms of the ships, it will. I guess the infantry are just like regular infantry. So you can just bring more infantry through your Navy tab. Most people play without the Navy tab. As in, like, they'll have maps where the Navy tab's disabled. Because, yeah, otherwise you can just get more FJB90 or whatever in your Navy tab. But you'll see, like, look, he's got Fibos, which is a Chinese thing that fires anti-ship missiles and is a fighter. So, like, where's the fighter? The fighter's in the Navy tab. And here's another fighter with Vimpel missiles, fire and forget, and anti-ship. So where are the fighters? The fighters are in the Navy tab. And then some more, I don't know who made this. That's probably a Soviet one, looking at the missile pods on it. So that's another boat. And then a supply boat. and then 6 regular boats. So you could get like so the funny thing in the Navy is that you can save up for like a mega, where is it? This thing 500 points, which is like 4 minutes income in Wargame and Dragon. So 1/10 of your income for the whole game. Oh no, because it's an hour-long game. And it's got 8, you know, 8 anti-ship missiles in it, and basically it's just an absolute chad. The Sovereignty. I think that's the most expensive one you can get, and this is obviously like the same, apparently. Wow, interesting. Um, and then that, basically it's just like Soviet ships essentially, and there are some Chinese ships. From what I understand, the meta for the Navy is to just spam torpedo boats, and if you could just shoot enough of those at the big ship, then you'll kill it, which is kind of like real life, really. But basically, you get the big ship, and then you get a bunch of escorts around it that can shoot incoming missiles. So, like these can't shoot incoming missiles, so I don't think he sort of built it properly, as it were. But it's kind of hard to find the boats when all the bloody infantry's in it. And I don't see any boat or ship. Oh, I do see ship, never mind. So you would basically get the command ship. So you would buy all the escorts first. So this is terrible basically, but there are some escorts that the Sea Whiz, that's what you want. You want the Sea Whiz. So like death means it shoots incoming missiles. So you would buy all your Hujians, right? Or the Moskets. The Moskets I think are meta because they also have the torpedoes on them. But basically you'd want like 2 cards of defense, and then you would purchase the 500-point beast, and you would make sure that it's always protected because people will try and snipe it with anti-ship missiles, and so that's what the escorts are for, to shoot down all the anti-ship missiles. And then you would need a lot of supply for them. Like 1 card wouldn't cut it. So basically, if you wanted to play Navy, which he clearly doesn't, he's just using it to get some extra fighters, you would have not this, essentially. You would have 2 cards of defense, 2 cards of supply, and then 1 of these. Or you could go 1 card of supply and 2 of these, because you only get 1 in a card, right? You only get 1 card, so that's why they've got the sister ship, I guess. I mean, it is basically the same. Actually, this is actually Kinjals. Interesting. So this has better missiles, but this has more HP. It's got more ECM. And that's how you would do it, and you would just slowly advance your big ship and use it to kill the enemy big ship if you can. Or you would use it to kill the enemy escort vessels, and then you could kill the enemy big ship with your planes. Because you'll note that the range on these anti-ship missiles is actually quite big. 6,300 meters. It's actually not that good, actually. But yeah, you'll see that, like, because look, that goes 4,500. So you would just constantly try and shoot them with and you would try and keep these alive as you constantly shoot them. It's really dumb. Navy's really dumb. So that's the deck review out of the way. I mean, I managed to yap a lot. I'm not sure I said anything useful. Anybody who plays Wargame or Dragon's probably going to tear this analysis to shreds, but that's been my experience of the game. Anyway, I'll see you in game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. 1 join at the lowest level. It's worth 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, you can do that. So here's just the Wargame Classic, really. Otherwise, just like the video, right? It's free. And yeah, this is the Wargame Classic. So they're both they're both cluster mortaring the other guy. Usually it's like napalm or something, but yeah, cluster mortars work as well. And they're both cluster mortaring each other's stuff. With the bridge being here, right, it kind of matters a lot on this map, specifically with the length of the game as well. Big Brain over here decided to fire his volley from the enemy's fob, so we'll see if the enemy noticed that. And then these are ASFs, cheap ASFs. Cheap Yugo ASFs there. And they were trying to take out the Tiger. The Tiger has its own stingers on it, and it killed one of these Yugoslavian helos, which had a Pardo Branchi 90, who have a made-up ATGM called a Bumbar. So more Yugo magic there. So, looks like the South African player has actually come here, and he's actually smoked. So that's pretty incredible, actually, to see. And yeah, so wow, it's this. The South African player is doing very, very well here. He's made it across the bridge, and he's also set up on this side, and he's just shooting at all of Red's stuff as they come in. So Buffaloes, with a very nice shooty sound there, beating the infantry in the open, as you might expect. You get a lot more units in... wow, that's loud. What the heck? That's so weird. Like, let's just zoom in and that's all I can hear. It's a DLC unit, so I can understand why... Yeah, there we go. It's a bit... Oh, it's so annoying! Thankfully, they've all died now, so it stopped shooting. But, yeah, basically, Red's made it across this bridge, but Blue's made it across this bridge, and NfNaf has actually done a pretty good job of pushing out Vicalarik and Ban Tank here. On the left side, Ban Tank, he does have... They're firing again! What is wrong with this unit, man? DLC cash grabs, basically. I've not played Italy. So, here we go. The Jurgens coming in there. No, that was Kobra's Jurgen. Finnish Jurgen, apparently. It's too far away to do much killing. Yeah, this one isn't cluster. This one's HE, apparently. Whereas this Jurgen is cluster. So, they know they're in there, and with the maps being as they are, you know, the only way they can reinforce is across these two rivers, these two bridges. There is amphibious in this game. But yeah, there you go. So LordLo with his Leopard 2s has managed to push out Ban Tank here. You'll note that the Yugoslavian belt-fed 7.62 machine gun can fire in the same building, whereas the German belt-fed 7.62 cannot fire when it's in the same building. The Buffaloes continue to shoot. I'm pretty sure it's the Buffalo making that sound, you know. But I thought it was these guns. Because, yeah, this is making more of a normal sound. Pretty crazy sounds coming out from these South Africans. The Buffaloes, they are actually in the same building block. So you see that the MG3 can't shoot, whereas the RPD can, because it's got the CQC tag. So that's given the blue infantry the advantage there. That is apparently a very good rocket launcher. When you get panicked, you don't do a whole lot of damage, just like in Wano, I suppose. So the Buffaloes do win that fight. So Blue's trying to reinforce, but he's forgotten to smoke it. So the T-55s, there's no LOS tool in this game. There's also no range tool. You just got to remember it, and that makes the game more hardcore. That's what decides if a game's hardcore. The less features, the better. Anything that makes the life easier for the player is bad, and should be gotten rid of so we can be hardcore. So as you can see, they're all dying, and you know they all die in the transports. Here we go, the LAR 160s not firing from FOB this time. And yeah, I mean they're doing a bit of damage. The dispersion's quite wide though. It seems it takes 2 hits to kill. So yeah, 2 T-55s have gone down there, 3 T-55s. Is it worth it? You tell me. I mean, he might lose this infantry. He's just sort of driving through it, though. And there's the counter battery, but they've already moved. Artillery aim times in this are a lot lower. It doesn't actually tell you what they are, because that would make the game too casual. We need to be hardcore. But, yeah, so he moved, right? So he got out. And these are armoured anyway. really interesting piece of kit. This must be what they use to demolish the civilian homes. I suppose they've got newer kit for that these days. So here's a ROM, which looks strangely like an F-15, and it died to the F-18. So you see that PACT gets NATO equipment because of the Finns. Like, the Finns get NATO equipment, but they're on the PACT side. Anyway, so Vicalarik trying to do a push here, but there's too much here, really. So we spoke in the deck review about smoke mortars and the utility of smoke mortars, and in Wargame Red Dragon, smoke mortars are even better than... The South African sounds are just all over the place, man. They all hurt my ears, and the mixing on them is terrible. You can hear this from so much further away than you can hear this. Like, look at that. Anyway, we're talking about these 5-man teams and how they're not particularly great. But he's got 3 T-72Ms here, so he's actually killing them with the fire support. But imagine if these were just line infantry, 10-man squads instead of 5-man squads. Oh, here we go, the buffaloes are shooting again. My ears, make it stop. Just gotta stay very zoomed out, I suppose. But yeah, blue's winning by quite a bit, because red doesn't have a CV in this zone, and they don't have a CV in this zone either. They definitely could put one in here. Oh, they've also not secured Charlie. So, I haven't even looked over here. CVs have to be stood still to secure the zone. And that means they just get blown up. So, here's a Finnish bomber, apparently. It's like a Lancaster or something. Anyway, he does get the CV there, and he does get out. And you see that these boats can transport other stuff. So, but yeah, it's really weird. He's not actually capped Charlie, so that's why they've got such a big point lead. Because golf is, you know, neutral. These are only +1s. So there you go. The healers take out some more guys. These guys actually make it though, because there's proper overkill mechanics in Wargame Red Dragon, unlike in Warno. So if you only just kill a vehicle, the infantry inside will survive. Whereas in Warno, it's actually in the code, and they've deliberately disabled it. Because the games are all built on each other, right? So it's in the code and they've deliberately disabled it. And Kobra has surrendered. So that sucks. From what I remember in this game, the AI doesn't take over and then does retarded things. So basically, I believe Band Tank Fago will import all of Kobra's units. But it might be Vicalarik, but I think it's Band Tank Fago because he's higher up. So the other advantage is both players get additional availability. The remaining players get additional availability. Unlike in Broken Arrow, where you get the lever's income, but you don't get the lever's availability. So you're still at a big disadvantage because you can't bring, you know, more fighters. So I've been playing Broken Arrow a lot, and there's one guy who always lags out at the start of the game. He's a nice bloke. He's just obviously got a terrible computer. And so we always lose the air fights because he always joins back in. But we can't buy the planes for him. So it is what it is, really. So Vicalarik 90, pretty cool, airborne, Czech airborne. And yeah, the artillery continues, so he thinks it's back here. He's trying to find the CV, right? CV's all the way back here, though. So the German player isn't really doing anything. It's mainly NfNaf being engaged by Vicalarik and Band Tank Fago. I don't see much coming out from the German player, which is a shame, really. Don't really see what he's doing. He's bought... No, that's not even his arty. So, yeah, the arty is in the wrong place. Vicalarik's tanks, they should beat the sort of wheeled stuff because the guns might be a bit worse, but they've got way more armor. Thing is, they're getting stunned and stuff, so that's not great. And the wonderful infantry shooting sounds there of the buffaloes. So Hawk 51 trainer jets dropping some bombs there, and those are Kobra's units, even though he surrendered, so I'm not sure how that works. Oh yeah, from what I remember, if the guy surrenders, you get his planes. you know, whatever's in his air tab, I'm pretty sure you get. So that went down there to the barrack too, which didn't die because all of this is close range AA. The Nevers haven't been purchased, but it did some decent hits there. There's no kill list or anything, so if you miss it, you miss it. So I'm not sure what was there. You also can't destroy buildings, but don't worry, Wargame Red Dragon's the superior game because it just is, okay? Please ignore the fact that half the maps in the game are like this, where there's just a big river. So Red's actually managing to push out NfNaf here, and a lot of this comes from the fact that LordLo is just not doing anything. He's just not helping his teammate at all. He's got some Milans here. Sadly, we can't view the sightlines, because you can't do that in Red Dragon. But yeah, Red, they're making some space. They're taking some space. They're trying to get into these buildings, I suppose, and then they can hide a CV somewhere, but it's not easy because you've got Recon here, which can view all this. And then as long as Blue has this side of the river, you can't really... Red really can't really put a CV in. But yeah, I wanted to get back to the point about smoke mortars. So, I mean, they're sort of just stood here dying. If you use the smoke mortars, like, let's say you're Red and you want to take this, you smoke this, and then you can just only kill the infantry that's in here. But instead, they're just sort of running in the field and they're getting shot. There's not actually a lot here. NfNaf could have done with putting some more here to shoot this way. There is a Milan too, but I'm not sure it's in range or, you know, correct LOS and so on. Sadly, we can't check. Anyway, Big Brain fired from next to his fob. The fob is surviving though. They are quite tanky in this game. They don't just go off immediately. You actually have to hit them a lot of times. So if you accidentally shoot it, you're not actually going to get it. And then, because the guy left, they've got more availability. So that's why there's 3 on Darvas, whereas I think there should only be 2. So he's got, you know, more availability because the teammate left. So I think that's the best way of doing it, really. I don't like giving it to the AI. It doesn't make any sense, because the AI is retarded, and there's no way to turn it off. So there's actually certain things that Wargame does do better. But Eugen, they have this idea, they just reinvent their game every game. They don't take the best of the last one to reinvent the whole game every game. So, wow, so the Hawk got some good kills there. This is a made up South African tank called the Oliphant. The Oliphant Optimum. And it is it's their heavy tank, basically. So, smoke coming out here. Pretty cool from the blue player. But look at that. The 6 on Darvas. Because look, Bantank Fago's got some as well. So I'm not sure what used to be there. I think it was a smoke mortar. It was something. It was an AA system. Okay, so they're targeting the AA. Interesting. Here we go, LordLo's finally made his play, so he's smoked off this and he's running the foxes across the fields. This doesn't have an AT. What it does have instead is a ridiculous rifle that can kill transports, apparently. Like a 50 cal. We got buffaloes shooting again. Ah, my ears, make it stop. So we gotta zoom out so that we don't hear the buffaloes shooting. And yeah, more hawks. It's weird, he surrendered, right? But you would have thought all his planes would be dead by now, but it gives the teammates the planes. So here we go, another, so this is an LGBT basically, the RAM. And I didn't see where the missiles went. It did drop them, I just didn't see where they went, sorry. And then the F-18s are evac-ing. From what I remember, the Israeli fighters, I don't know if it's this one, but the Israelis get a fighter that was like banned in tournaments because it was so broken. I don't know if they fixed that. So here we go, we got some helos here, trying to force out the Jaeger. The Jaeger did not, like, they've not brought their tanks over, they've not brought their AA over, it's literally just Jaeger. Jaeger and 1 cheap tank. So, it's going about as well as you might expect. Whoops, what the heck was that? So cheap tank went down. I'm not sure that was worth this, really. And Red still haven't brought... Okay, they've started to buy the Nevers now. And here we go, triple Lars on the Ondava positions, but they're wheeled, so they just move. And you got to hit them quite a few times to kill them, because they're armoured and so on. So, yeah, there's no Toad equipment in this game. You don't actually have any Toad stuff. And, yeah, Blue's still on that +1 with 43 minutes remaining. So, yeah, just more trading going on here. So, Red's managed to finally push Blue here. But LordLo has made it across the bridges. It's really weird how he's not bringing up his heavy assets, though. So he's just being defeated. All his Jaeger are just dying. It must... I'm pretty sure it's those buffaloes, you know, that are making that sound. Because these are shooting and there's no problem. Buffalo, though. So, yeah, I don't know what that was all about, really. If you're going to attack, surely you want to bring up the tank, at least. What happened to it? There it is. Maybe it was up and it got hit by something. So, Bantank Fago and Vicalarik have managed to push LordLo back across the bridge. And they've come back in here. So they're beginning to weaken this position as well. There's not actually a lot there. There's a lot of attempted counter battery going on. It's just not happening, really, if you're paying attention. And the triple Ondavas are pretty effective. So this is in Wano, the M109, the German M109. And yep. Oh, that's quite close actually. So it looks like counter battery is happening because they're not paying attention. So LordLo is going to lose his arty there, and in a 60-minute game that matters a lot. This is giving me PTSD just watching it. I've played this map so many times, and it's just such a pain in the arse. You just sit there. It's so hard to get across these bridges. What you can do is, like, you know, try and push further down this way. But Red's done a pretty good job shoring that up. And Blue hasn't really gone for it. But yeah, you would try and push over here, basically. And if you can get over to here, then you can start pushing down this way. It's just getting across these bridges is so difficult. So it's going to be quite tough for Red to, if they, like, do they have a chance? It's worth asking the question, because let's say they take all this. Well, Blue's still on this side of the river. Then Red has to get across the river. And you can see how hard it is to get across the river. Anyway, LordLo hasn't moved his Milans here, so they're probably going to die. And the Buffaloes are shooting again, so we're going to zoom all the way out. Let's have a look at what's going on over here. We've got Kick the Noob spamming Zeldas. So these, basically, they're only 5 points, but they've got 2 armor and 3 machine guns. So the other 5-point boxes are not as good as that. They usually have 1 armor and not 3 machine guns. But the Israeli stuff, DLC, so it's just better. So the Macbeth is just a Pivads. They've all got like their own names, basically. This is an upgraded M113, essentially. It's got that cage armor and it's got 3 machine guns, apparently. So, okay, so he's bought a McCurver and he's put it here, so he's clearly going to attack soon with all the Zeldas. So we'll see if he makes it across. These guys do have Appalas, which is just as good in... It actually has a higher pen in this game than it does in Wano. And they carry 6 rockets each as opposed to 4, so it's even stronger than it is in Wano. The range is less, though. The accuracy is less. So, Red have finally managed to push NfNaf out of this side of the river. And they pushed LordLo back. And they seem... Okay, so there must have been somebody in here, because now they're bombing that and they're actually hitting the CV. So you can tell where the CV is. The CV is actually in this house. Out of all the houses in that building block, this is apparently where the CV is. And the Buffaloes are about to start shooting again. Get down! There's only one of them, though. T-55 AHs have mega range in this, apparently. Yeah, so they can't see each other. It'd be nice if we had an LOS tool. But look at this, more smoke, which means you can get more infantry over. FRF with the AMRAMs. Does kill the SU, so I think the SU was going for like that Leopard 2 or something. I'm not sure if it got it because there's no kill list. And, you know, it's kind of hard to... Yeah, it did. Look, there's a dead Leopard 2 here. So that would be that Leopard 2A4 from before. So you go, NfNaf, he's trying to get some more guys in. He needs to unload these or he's going to lose them. Oh, my ears! Ah, these South African units, man. So, he didn't really unload them in time. The Igman's coming in. I don't think that's going to do so well. Although the Buffaloes only have Milans. These guys have RPGs, though. So there you go. It looks like Red's managed to secure their side of the river. Here we go. The big Israeli attack's happening. Proceeded with some artillery barrages there. He's got the planes out as well. Big bomber coming in here. No smoke mortars. Oh, I see it's napalm. So they've just napalmed the bridge. So these will all start taking damage now. Sort of like Warno in that regard. Got some Harfies. And look at that, they're all getting stunned up in the fire. This is not where you want to get stunned. This is not where you want to get stunned. They're all burning to death. Oh dear. Quick, get the Americans to help. So, yeah, these men, they're running out of rockets, but they've basically done their job. And this is why attacking in this game is so difficult on this map. Because it's just, to be honest, he should have sent half of them down this bridge. That would have been a bit smarter, I think. But look, they're all dead. From the artillery as well, from Vicalarik and Bantank Fago. The napalm bomber from... I think that was Bantank Fago's napalm bomber. I think Vicalarik had napalm. It might have been napalm, I thought it was just a regular dumb bomber. Over here, there's more lovely shooting sounds. ASF's coming out. Clearing out some of the helos and so on. And there you go, that's this map. You build up for 30 minutes and then you try and cross a bridge and it doesn't work out. So amphibious units can be very useful on this map. I'm not sure Israel really gets many amphibious units. Yeah, they're all dead. Gosh, what a nightmare, honestly. I'm just going to turn it down a bit. This is really loud. There we go. Sadly, I can't hide this. I can only hide the whole hood, which then you can't see anything. So, yeah, that was an unmitigated disaster. Now, if Red have any sense, they will counterattack. But it wouldn't actually work out because there's some spikes there. In fact, that's all there is, really. Some spikes and some, you know, some cheap tanks. Like, what even is that? Is that like a chieftain or something? I can't see anything. I'm not sure what that is. If you know, do let me know. It's kind of hard to tell when it's glowing. So yeah, typically Red should counterattack here now because they know that they've just killed a bunch of stuff. But given that the Kobra players left, so it's just Vicalarik and Bantank Fago, I guess they can't really spare the you know, the micro, so I guess it's just not happening. They are, you know, they're getting in here. They could put a CV in here now, because they could hide it in here, or they could hide it in here, and soon they'll have this, it seems. Like, they could just run in and take this now, and then they could hide it in here as well. Typically, people tend to put it over here. The issue is, of course, there's recon and so on here, although, you know, this hasn't fired, so I think it's just in the wrong place. Not sure how much use the... Oh, I suppose it's because they've got AA. So, more Roycats coming in. This is like an AMX-10RC, if you've forgotten. And more Buffaloes, so we get to be subjected to that wonderful sound. It's literally giving me a headache. But yeah, this... Attacking in Wargame Red Dragon is harder than it is in Warno anyway. Because you don't have that free vehicle smoke get out of jail free card. And the maps are so bad. Like this is like Kaliningrad in Broken Arrow. It's just a big long river. And pushing across the river takes ages. So you get these games where they set the time limit to an hour. Sometimes they even set it to infinite, right? And then they open 10 million fobs and they just sit there. It's their copy of the game, right? But I don't want any part in it. Anyway, there's a Tomcat. So that's from the naval tab. So that's got mega range missiles. You can see it's shooting at a plane all the way back here. So yeah, that was Band Tank Fagos playing with the napalm. And the Ondavas, you know, they're getting good hits, but you'll note that the fobs are actually almost empty. They had 3 fobs and they've almost used them all. So, La 160 is firing again. He's managed to lose one somehow. I'm not sure how. But there is a German Mars here as well, and this one has the cluster. Just like in Wano. And here we go, CV's purchased. And now they can finally stop the tick. But the question is, how do they get points? Oh great, the Milan 2's finally engaged. There's so many wrecks here from all the times he's tried to attack. Look at that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 wrecks there, it might have been 15. And then there's more here. And yeah, that Milan 2. Not quite getting the hits. And there you go, so he's hid this here. I say hid, I mean, surely they know where it is, because they've seen that drive in. But it could be anywhere in here, right? And they could also try and hide it here. That's really weird, man. It doesn't actually look like it's... Okay, so it's behind these houses. The lovely infantry shooting sounds are coming up again. And the Tomcats make it so that these... So here we go. So we spoke about this in the deck review, that the way he's got his fighters is just from the naval tab. So he's got Soviet Su-33s or whatever they are. And then the Tomcats, they do outrange those. But you can get MiG-31s, I think, in the naval tab as well. Or can you? I know you can get MiG-31s. They come at 1 card because of the range, if you can imagine that. So, NfNaf has actually made it back in here. And there you go, look. It's been seen. Probably by this or something. But yeah, with the maps being what they are... Okay, so now he's trying to run in some... But look, they survive. I can't remember if these are amphibious or not. It does actually just have something that says amphibious, yes, no. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it is. So they can actually get across here. Anyway, there goes the CV. As you'd expect, really. Because yeah, you have to move it. But if you move it, they know you've moved it because then they re-secure the zone, and it doesn't take ages like it does in Wano. It's immediate. So Tornado IDS bomber. This is literally the Wano loadout. Four small bombs, and down it goes to the Mega AA net, which has now been set up. And they got the Inf CV. Apparently, but there is another CV back here, so... And you see that blue also has 2 CVs here. Look at that, that's 4 armor. So, red trying to get across the Gulf Bridge, and blue just keep flooding this zone and dying to artillery, basically, and that's sort of what it's all about in Wargame Red Dragon. Attempted counter battery, but look, they're still alive. You just get a nice map with a big river, get all your fobs and do some arty party. The only issue is your fobs will run out, so they're actually only halfway through the game, if you can believe that. And so that means that red can make it back, I suppose, but blue is still on a +1, so it's not looking too likely, and like nothing's happening here. They could have tried buying a big boat and coming over here and boating their way over here and getting a +1 or something, but then blue would buy boats, so it's neither here nor there, really. But I will admit, I think red's winning on trades, because the amount of people that blue is losing just coming over here and getting shot by these guys, you would think that they would artillery it, but the German M109s are dead, right? And so... You know, I don't know who else has got arty. This guy just seems to have mortars. And yeah, the German Mars, and then like the Israeli player's gone for clusters, which isn't going to do anything to these guys. So here we go, smoke coming in, very cool. And there you go, so that they are actually firing. This is another Israeli thing, so it just fires 4 large rockets. They're still in there, even though it's fired, but hey, whatever. It's on some sort of tank chassis. I don't know about that, man. I mean, anyway, bomber gets a lot of kills, but it's all just one-way trips. There's too many fighters, there's too much AA, so every bomber just seems to be a one-way trip. You'll note how many, like, these guys have 1 round each, and these are all empty, so could use a bit of the old resupply. But supply is in short supply because the fobs are out and the FAP, interesting name, you can't sell them. It's not like in Warno where you can sell them. There is one here though, and there are 3 over here for some reason. Oh, I see what's happening. They're buying naval supply, sending it to the shore, and then filling up the artillery that way. And they're resupplying these with, like, naval supply, I guess. I guess that's the plan. This obviously, you know, because there's no empty one of these, so that can't have happened yet. Whoa, okay, cool. This game's giving me a migraine, man. So, yeah, the Ondavas are doing a lot of kills, a lot of damage, and then, like, look at this, so... The Bumbars, just, they're like Metis, basically. Except they've got 26 pen, because they're just Yugo magic. Nonsense, made-up nonsense. Can't wait for them to add Yugo to Warno. I assume they will. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. So here we go. So, this side is being probed. The Mars? Ah, okay, so they know about this. So they're trying to kill the supply. So that's pretty smart, actually, because if he gets this, then... That one missed, I guess. Like, it's so far away. He's got to get quite lucky with the hits, because I think he'd have to hit it twice. Look. Oh... Ooh. Will he hit these? I want to see how much damage it does if it hits these. It just doesn't seem to be hitting it. Anyway... Wow, look at that. So, big airwaves on the right. F-18s, which I believe were just Kobra's F-18s from before. Because it did say he surrendered. But I don't know if it's like Warner where you can surrender and just keep playing. I don't know if they fixed that. It's a pretty interesting leak, kerosene leak. Pretty interesting way to play. So, basically, I've seen it where people say, well, I think we're going to lose, so they surrender. But then they keep playing because they don't want to let their team down. So hopefully they haven't fixed it. But you see this MiG-29 also has some Sidewinders on it or whatnot. Check out these Bedouins siding with the enemy against their own people. Super Hornet getting stunned up by the Promet. And this is another naval tab one because look, it's got the harpoons on it. Sadly, you can't keep up the thing. If you lose your mouse on it, you lose the info tab, which is why it keeps doing that, because you can't click it. But Wargame Red Dragon has the better UI. I've been reliably informed by Wargame Red Dragon players. Anyway, big attack on the left. Vicalarik and Bantank Fago trying to push through into Golf. They've made it across the river, and this seems like, I mean, sadly, they've not brought too much AA with them. So I don't know what they're going to do about this Tiger, which for some reason has had its Hot 2 switched off, which is a big shame. Does he even know he's done that? But yeah, look at that. Smoke. Incredible gameplay. I guess they're using the Ondavas for smoke. That's the L19 for the Tiger, I guess, but gets hit by Fliegerfaust, which in this game are actually really good, because it's the Fliegerfaust 2. And the Leopard 2s are coming in. They need to spread out as fast as possible because, like, look, they're all in their transports and they're getting hit by RT. So, yeah, we've got more of these 5-man RPG squads for some reason instead of line infantry. I really don't understand that decision. If you're watching this red team, please do let me know. Like I said, I don't play this game as much as these guys, so... Well, presumably anyway. I've got 500 hours. I was reasonably good at it, but not, like, competitively good. Basically what happened was... I started playing after all my friends did, and they would all beat me all the time. And then I started getting better and better, and then eventually I would beat them, and then they wouldn't want to play with me anymore. That's literally what happened. So I lost to them like, 10, 20 times, and then I just started winning every single game because I'd learnt the game basically. I'd been practicing. But yeah, look at that boat combat. Very cool boat combat. But we spoke about this in the deck review. Generally, you want like escorts for a big boat. This isn't really a big boat. It's a reasonable boat. So yeah, I don't know why Red is like... They need to spread out a bit, to be honest. And they need to bring up some supply, but they can't because they don't have any, because all the fobs are empty. And you'll note that they've actually sent the Nethers all the way back, so they don't have AA cover. But they have made it across, and they are doing good work. So they might take this zone, right? Because there's actually not anybody here. Blue desperately trying to scramble back in, but NfNaf is just determined to come in here and die, basically. That's all he's been doing. Vicalarik with the CV. That's an interesting CV. Not sure where it's going. He's going to try and hide it in this building, I guess. But, I mean, what? I don't know about that. Sadly, we can't click it. Can't click anything in this game. Okay, so he's hidden it there. Alright, well that's pretty cool. In the meantime, the T-55As have made it all the way over here to find that there's nobody here. T-72 is just sort of chilling. CVs have been discovered. Saperzi coming in. The transports are dead. If your transport dies, you basically just go to low cohesion. They're quite panicked in this. It's not as bad as being low cohesion in Warno, but it is pretty bad. So, look at that. 1400 meter range heat on a 15-man squad. For 20 points with an MG3. MG3s in this game are actually good. They're not standardized. So, yeah, more Yugo magic there. But yeah, I don't know about Vicalarik's infantry choices, to tell you the truth. Like, the sappers, I get having a card of sappers, but those infantry anti-tank guys, I just feel like line infantry would have been better. Like, maybe one card of the infantry anti-tank if you really need it. Peace Rhine, so this is the OG tank killer for 1v1. Sadly, it's just like in Warno where the T-72s are broken. And there were also two of them and it only hit one round, so... and it died to a strop or something. There were also some fighters and stuff out here. So red with the comeback. But look at this. I mean, the CV obviously died because of where he put it. And yeah, NfNaf still smoking these. These haven't moved, by the way, but don't know if there's no automatic counter battery in this game, and the Ondavas and stuff, they're running out. They'll probably have to come over here and refill from the Mooners. Sorry, I keep itching my nose. It's I get the shakes when I watch Wargame Red Dragon gameplay. It just takes me back. Because yeah, they used to just beat me all the time. And then that's how I got into it, basically. My friend bought me Israel for Wargame Red Dragon as a joke. And so I would just play Israel every game, because it's broken, basically. It's an overpowered nation in this game, by a lot. I mean, there have been subsequent nerfs and stuff, so I'm not sure how bad it is these days. But look at that Severe. Bam! Marder's going down there. And Cheetah with the... so that's got Griffin missiles on it, which are basically... That's the same one the Israelis get. I know the Israelis tried to give the South Africans nukes or something, so maybe that's sort of the same kind of thing. Or it's just an American bomb, which is also quite likely. So, BWP2s, BVP2s with the Conqueror's M's going up against the Leopard 2A5, but they're all panicked, so they're all missing. And the Leopard 2A5 is just killing them one at a time. And has only sustained one hit. It's not like in Warno where 180 GM makes your tank useless. He's still calm after being hit. But look, the Salamandra's coming in here. And that's going to start firing the Kokon M's, so you'd expect a bit of AA. There's the Gepard. Okay, or you can do that and then lose him to the Strops. But I mean, there is a Gepard here, he's just not using it. And this tiger could also come around. So with 19 minutes left, Red have managed to take all of Golf, but they still don't have a CV in India. And given that Blue was ticking up for basically forever, look at this. They're trying to hit it again. And the Mooner, it has been hit. It's still going. Trying to see how I can fit a USS Liberty joke into this. I can't really think of a good way. Because yeah, those are Israeli rockets. Anyway. Red, I think Red's going to have a really good KD. I mean, NfNaf is probably going to have a really bad KD. He just keeps running over this and dying to these two buildings over and over and over and over again. It needs new material, basically. Blue still has a good supply situation, though. The fobs, they've still got a fob. I suppose the laws, you know, he lost a law, but look, he's still got good supply. There's actually, I didn't even notice this fob. So plenty of supply for Blue, whereas Red is running very, very low on supply. You know, you've noticed that the RT stopped firing, basically, because they've ran out. There's a little bit left here. No, they're still... Oh, I see. Yeah, they're filling up from the Navy, so that's fair enough, really. So they're still in the game for a bit until they run out of these two Mooners, which actually have quite a lot of supply in them. And there is a third one, because they get 3 in a card, as we know from the deck review. So this RBF, he's been getting a lot of value out of it. He does get 2, so maybe one's dead. This is probably... Oh, wow, it makes it out. Even with... Wow, there's a lot of ASFs there from Kick the Noob. And these aren't moving after they shoot, which is a bit of a no-no. Su-27s. Okay. Yeah, there's no health bar unless you click on it and then look down here, so that's kind of hard to tell as well. But that just makes Wargame Red Dragon more hardcore, guys. You gotta be a hardcore game. Just make the game as inaccessible as humanly possible. That makes you hardcore. He's had seed this whole time, and he's bought it 43 minutes into the game and just lost it immediately. God. I can't believe that. Blue have had seed this whole time, and they just haven't used it. And now there's way too much AA here. So yeah, more VP2s coming in. They're probably not going to make it, to be honest. Yeah, you probably should have unloaded that quite some time ago. Yeah, not great. But the infantry do make it out, because there's an overkill mechanic in this game. So yeah, +1 to Red, but I'm not sure it's enough, really. I mean, given that Blue were ticking up for basically 45 minutes, or like 35 minutes or whatever, I'm not sure Red has enough time here. So we spoke about these in the deck review, and I said they're not very useful. But, I mean, he's using it because he gets like 16 of them or something, or like 11. He gets a lot of them. But yeah, they are actually proving themselves, because like there are instances where there's just no AA, and then they just sit there and shoot rockets. Basically forever. So, what happens next? Red trying to push into India from the Blues Riverside, whereas NfNaf is still trying to push this little forest here without artillery support. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if South Africa gets good artillery. I just think it might not actually, because it clearly just gets some like wheeled crap basically. So like it's basically he needs to kill all this slot. So the recon here should be spotting these units, and then he should be killing them. I can't remember if it can actually see across it. But yeah, it's been 45 minutes, but these guys, they want to play hour-long games. So, yeah, I mean, clearly the decks are kind of designed for it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 fobs here, and 3 fobs here. So both teams clearly knew what they were getting themselves into. South Africa, though, you can tell that it just can't compete in these late game fights. In general, in big team games, like you want to be using your mobility, but you can't really do that. So Conkers M firing many Conkers. The Patton, I believe, is just a... Okay, so it's an Apache. I thought it was a Kobra, but yeah, it's an Apache. The Zephyr, I think, is a Kobra. And then the Sopal just rinses it. And yeah, blue still has stuff to send. Still has stuff to send into here. But you'll notice it's getting a bit weird now. Like, he's sending like one recon infantry, so you can tell he's running out. You can tell he's running out. So, Vicalarik just running in with his transports again. A few of them will die. Doesn't seem to matter too much to him. And yeah, I think the use of... Like, look at that. So when they die next to the transports, they're all panicked now. So you might think it's great, just absorb some rounds, but what you're actually doing is making your infantry useless. So, yeah, basically put some smoke mortars in your deck, and then you can just smoke this, and then you can actually get in. So some more smoke coming in here from the blue side, so he's actually got 2 more M109s. Not sure why they're looking that way. And the Lars firing from the back of the map with the Mars. Or Mar. Firing from the fob. There is a Mars there, but it's not doing anything. And yeah, when they're this far away, they don't really do any damage, because you're only going to really get 1 hit. And you need 2 or 3 to kill, depending on the top armor. It's got 1 top armor, and it's been hit twice now, and it's still okay, so... I suppose it is doing damage, and it's doing like cohesion damage as well. But yeah, a lot of these AA pieces, I suppose these still have ammo. Wow. Okay. But they're not moving. So, you know, the Mars, for example, as cluster on a nice tight dispersion, so you can hit that. And then hit that. And then hit that, you know. In the meantime, we've got the West German counterattack. They're just sort of driving the Marders in and getting them killed to close-range infantry AT. But there's no... You can't tell the range. There's no LOS tool. The only way to tell the range is to try and shoot something. So you press T and try and attack position the enemy, and then you can tell the range. And that's obviously suboptimal, right? So LordLo's counterattack here, not going so well. Just too many ATGMs here from Bantank Vago and Vicalarik. The Drug 1991 made-up missile, yeah. I can't wait for them to add Yugoslavia to Warner. It's going to be such a shit show. I'm going to get so many views. It's going to be so funny. Well, they're the same thing, really. So, Bomber's going quite deep there, probably dead. And they're just trying to hit the CV, because they know... Oh, wow! They got it. They actually got it. So, great! +2 to red now. And the Igmans are coming round. The red seems to be going for the blue will run out of bullets eventually strategy, and it is working. The Nimrod's really good. It's actually got 2,975 meters range, so it's basically the best in the universe. And it's got very high AP. I'm not sure what... Isn't the Nimrod like an anti-ship missile or something? So yeah, it's got big boy range. And the Igmans are dying. Red somehow still has supply. Oh, because of the Moonas, yeah. So, yeah. Still nothing happening over here. I reckon if he just sent this in, he'd probably kill all this. What's he going to do? Shoot it with a spike? Okay, so they're starting to build this up now, actually. So I guess they've come to the same conclusion. In the meantime, blue is trying to get another CV in. Looks like they'll succeed. Red's attacks are really weird, man. They just sort of run in and die, and blue's side-shotting them a lot. I think red should start attacking from this way now, as opposed to this, because there's clearly guys in there, and look at that. They just keep going as well. I suppose there's no smoke button, so what are you going to do about it? And yeah, these are like really good line infantry as well. In general, the Israelis... Oh, they're shock infantry, my bad. In general, the Israeli stuff's just kind of really good. But Yugo's also really good. So Gepard finally gets deployed, and then immediately gets rinsed by all these T-72s. So, as we know from the deck review, Vicalarik's got a lot of cheap, cost-effective tanks, which isn't this one, actually. He's got even cheaper ones, 50-point T-72s, without the missiles. The missiles obviously are very useful because of the ranges involved. And there you go, Blue's got the CV in, and they've got a spare CV. I did see like a third CV, it must have died. There was like a CV car, as in like an actual... I think it's probably exploded somewhere. Oh, he's driving through it. Interesting. So, the Navy... What happened to that boat? Oh, I see. So he should have only had 3 of these. But because the guy left, he's got 5. Because I'm pretty sure he should have only got 3. Or maybe I'm miscounting. Maybe it was 4 or something. But either way, I think the guy leaving is giving him more availability. And that means his arty can keep firing. Because he's just using these to repair the... Although they are taking counter battery. After playing for like an hour, you kind of lose the ability to... make good plays in terms of like moving your arty and stuff. You do start to make mistakes. So big battle in the air. Why did they evac? Oh, they were way... Yeah, I don't know about that really. Well, they're getting out actually. Okay, I just figured sort of a do or die moment there, but they don't know what's behind this. Obviously we can see that there's no Eyehawks back here or anything. There's literally no A8. So 7 minutes left. And here we go again, trying to hit the stuff. Mooners are repairing each other, so they should be okay. The Mi-4s have landed a bit too far away. Sokol's not landed, so... What happened to... He had a gunship, didn't he? Like, sorry, not a gunship, like a proper boat that wasn't this. Did I just make that up? I could have sworn there was one. Because I said, oh, he's brought that up for this. But where is it? Maybe it died. Sort of getting the impression that I'm just losing it, though. That is also possible. Too much Wargame does that to a man. So, you know, trying to hit things from max range. Going about as well as you... What? Okay, that was close. And yeah, they basically know where they are, but if I was red, I'd be attacking across this bridge, as opposed to down here across all these tanks and the infantry which keep shooting them. But they're doing a good job, so basically blue will take a position and red will just arty the crap out of it. Here we go, it's happening now. 6 minutes left. I don't think they can win unless they take Alpha, maybe. Maybe even Delta. That's why I thought they were building this up, so that they could put like this. If they just push this over, they'd get all this. There'd be plane combat and so on, but no, I think they'd have a pretty good chance of it. Or even just like spat, because there's no AA here. Obviously they don't know that, but all you'd have to do is buy a bunch of those cheapo helicopters and just send them all in, and oh, there he is, kill him. Oh, there he is, artillery. But no, they're thinking quite two-dimensionally, which is... It's hard to think three-dimensionally after you've been playing... this game for 55 minutes or what have you. It is kind of hard to keep everything going, and that's why you see people making mistakes like the RT not moving, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a shame. Like even this, if you just sent this in, they'd kill all that, and then you could start hitting the shoreline, because ATGMs, infantry ATGMs, don't do a great deal to them, to tell you the truth. So, Super Hornets out. Salamander... Ah, okay, so here we go. He's finally doing something. Gets the AA, but he's stunned, and now he's flying over the infantry, which are going to finish him off. So that's a shame, really. If he'd like, sent 3 or something, he would have been fine. Because it's recon, he knows about that now. So I guess they're going to RT that. But we can't tell where this is going to shoot, because we can't view orders. because you shouldn't be able to view orders, because then the game won't be hardcore enough. In the meantime, NfNaf is somehow still in this game. He's not got many units left, you can tell, right? Like, where's all his stuff? It's mainly, you know, it's mainly the other guys at this point. I mean, he's got a few tanks. Here we go, smoke coming in. So they're using the Ondavas for smoke. They're using the Ondavas for smoke. But yeah, they should be attacking everywhere, really. Blue leaves with 4 minutes left. Kick the noob is gone. But surely they're going to win. Maybe that's why he left. Because he's like, whatever. And then, actually, that's a good strat in team games. You buy all your units. And then, look, they've just got all the extra availability from him leaving. Do you see that he's now buying all these things? They'd run out of units. And then because he left, they got the additional availability. So that is a strat you can do. Vicalarik here just not unloading his infantry and losing them all in the transports. So that's not great. And here we go. Here are the helicopters. So Hera 2's just little kind of little bird equivalent space. They look like gazelles actually. The Pivad's taking that out. They're coming in. Will they unload their infantry this time? They do. That's a lot of infantry. Does Blue have a bomber? I think they wasted them all earlier in the game. So, yeah, Red moving through the town, teleporting between buildings as you do. Commandant discovered. Lots of panicking going on here. The Caspier has done a lot of damage to those guys, and the Optimums. The Optimus Primes. And here comes the Cheetah. But there's two, they've spread out now, so... And he's gone in the same building, you see, so they get some kills, but there's just so many of them. And yeah, you can keep switching which buildings you're in and stuff like that. Commandant's going to go down there, so that'll be +2 to Red. So that was a pretty cool attack. You see Blue with the addition... Oh, look, they're trying to get the Rattel. They've seen that somehow. Probably because of all the helos they sent over here. So Blue needs to buy another CV, basically. Because if they move this one, then they can't spawn stuff in. So they need to buy... Okay, looks like that salvo ran out and they didn't get it. In the meantime, I found out what happened to that ship. And here we go, a Congo, which is the... This is the... I'm not sure why it's called a Congo, actually. I'm not sure what kind of ship that is. Is that a British one? But yeah, you see the boat getting spammed out. This is why you need escorts for them, basically. And look at the range on that. Look at the range on that. And look, they're all going to fire their muskets, and this is why you need the escorts for them, because it can only block so many things. So it needs escorts with Sea-Wiz. It does actually have its own Sea-Wiz, it's just not displayed on the stat card, because you can have more than 3 weapons, it's just you can only display 3 on the stat card in this wonderful game. And, oh, they got the infantry, so it's just the Congo. So +4, because the one on Kilo's dead, they didn't buy another one. They should have got another one because of the lever. They should have had another one that they could buy. But yeah, the Congo keeps moving. Well, I suppose it stopped moving now. But here comes the Fibo again. Double radar. Eventually, this will run out of defense. The idea is you shoot them all at once to overwhelm the Sea-Wiz, right? I actually like naval combat in this game. I don't understand why people have such a problem with it. It is kind of weird how in a regular game it just gives you more regular ground forces. I always thought that was really dumb. And they didn't even bother making it properly, so you just, you know, Poland just gets a bunch of Soviet ships, and... yeah. They definitely could have put more effort in. Apparently, when Eugen first revealed it, when Red Dragon came out, the community gave him a bunch of advice on how to fix it. They had like a white paper that a bunch of people signed. This is how you fix naval. Look at that, 3 coming in at once. Oh, it blocks it all. The sound seems to have broken. I can't hear anything anymore. Have I gone deaf? Oh, the Congo goes down. Sadly, we don't hear the explosion sound because the sound has bugged it. No, it's coming back now. Like, some sounds are playing, but not others. I can't tell. So now it's a +4, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So, GG. So yeah, that was definitely a game of Wargame Red Dragon. They're all like that, to be honest. And you see, you know, the KDs were pretty high for, like, this guy clearly did leave. The KDs were pretty high for red, as I predicted. And yeah, I mean, it was a good game, right? Sadly, we can't view like which thing got the most kills or whatever. Do let me know what you think. Do you want to see more Wargame Red Dragon? This is what it's like, by the way. The super sweaty 1v1s aren't much different. Well, no, they are very different. But generally, there's only a few maps that the 1v1 guys will play. There's like 4 maps that they'll play because the rest all have big rivers in the middle like that, and they refuse to play it. So yeah, do let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. GG.